Epstein files. Trump's GOP gets schooled on justice for victims. Oh, for fuck's sake, can we all just take a moment to laugh at the sheer idiocy of Donald Trump and his bootlicking crew who strutted around like they owned the goddamn truth machine? Convinced that every single Republican in Congress would line up like good little soldiers to vote no on releasing those Epstein files. Only to watch in stunned silence as the House slammed through a 427-1 ass-kicking approval, and the Senate piled on with a unanimous rubber stamp faster than you can say, cover-up exposed. Leaving the orange overlord and his enablers scrambling to pretend they were on board all along like the spineless flip-floppers they truly are. Yeah, that's the clown show we're living through right now on November 18, 2025. Where the Epstein Files Transparency Act, pushed by rogue Republicans like Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna through a sneaky discharge petition that bypassed Speaker Mike Johnson's pearl-clutching delays, finally forces the Justice Department to cough up every last scrap of investigative dirt on that slimy pedophile financier and his high-rolling demon circle. Because apparently even the most hardcore MAGA diehards couldn't stomach looking like they were shielding child abusers any longer when the cameras rolled and victims' advocates filled the galleries cheering like it was the Super Bowl of accountability. Trump, that bloated blowhard who partied with Epstein for years before pretending he ghosted him over some golf club spat, spent months raging against this bill from behind the scenes, whining on Truth Social that it was just a Democrat witch hunt distraction from his so-called golden agenda. But when push came to shove and his own party turned on him like a pack of rabid chihuahuas, he suddenly grew a pair, or at least a press release, and urged Republicans to vote yes, as if anyone with half a brain buys that he wasn't sweating bullets over what those files might drag out about his innocent chats with the guy who trafficked kids like they were cheap candy. And let's not kid ourselves here. This isn't some feel-good bipartisan hugfist. It's a brutal wake-up call that exposes how this Trump administration has been jerking around the laws like a teenager with daddy's credit card, bending over backwards to protect the wealthy elite scum who think private jets and NDAs make them untouchable while the real victims, those shattered women and men, girls and boys who had their lives ripped apart by these monsters, get left twisting in the wind, begging for scraps of justice that should have been served up decades ago on a silver platter. Take Mike Johnson, that sanctimonious House Speaker who preaches family values harder than a televangelist hawking miracle water, yapping about how the bill needed protections for victims' privacy like he's suddenly the patron saint of trauma survivors, when in reality he's been dragging his feet forever, terrified that unleashing the full Epstein dossier might splash mud on his precious Republican overlords, or, God forbid, reveal how cozy the whole swamp really was with a guy who turned underage exploitation into a billionaire's hobby. Newsflash, Mikey boy, the wealthy child abusers aren't the victims here, you deluded dipshit, they're the goddamn perpetrators, the demons who preyed on innocence for sport. And if you can't tell the difference between a predator in a penthouse and a kid who never got to be a kid, then maybe law school was a waste of your folks' money, because even a blindfolded judge could see through this administration's two-faced game of shielding the powerful while condemning the powerless to endless nightmares. Victims like Virginia Giuffre, who fought tooth and nail against Epstein and his witch Ghislaine Maxwell until cancer stole her voice just last year, aren't asking for pity. They're demanding the reckoning these files promise, the kind that names names, connects dots, and hauls the enablers into the light where they belong, not hiding behind executive privilege or national security bullshit that reeks of self-preservation. It's about damn time this happened, seriously, because for too long we've watched these files gather dust in some DOJ vault while survivors aged out of hope, their stories buried under layers of legal red tape that only seems to thicken when billionaires are involved. And now, with the bill barreling toward Trump's desk, expected to hit it Wednesday morning before he can lawyer up another delay tactic, the pressure's on for him to sign it without his usual tantrum. Though we all know he'll probably claim full credit, like he personally flew to Little St. James to bust the operation himself. But here's the raw truth. Even if he inks it, this doesn't erase the stain of his initial sabotage or the way his crew tried to frame transparency as some radical left plot, proving once again that MAGA drain the swamp mantra was just code for refill it with our cronies. These are kids we're talking about, lives mangled by trusted adults who abused power in the worst ways. And if the Senate holds firm, no amendments, no cave-ins to last-minute White House arm-twisting, then maybe, just maybe, we'll see the justice they've chased for decades. The kind that doesn't just slap wrists, but shatters the glass castles of the guilty. Victims deserve that, not more excuses from a regime that treats laws like suggestions for the little people. Trump's pardon club, pedos, pimps, and the die-hard defenders who worship them look at this disgusting pattern, staring us right in the face every single time Trump waves that pardon pen like it's his personal get-out-of-hell-free card for every scumbag who ever kissed his ring or flew on Lolita Express with him. Because every lowlife he's ever handed a full pardon to is either neck-deep in Epstein's kiddie trafficking ring or some other flavor of predatory garbage. And somehow the MAGA cult still lines up to lick the boots of a guy whose entire inner circle reeks of child exploitation and cover-ups that would make the devil blush. Kodak Black, caught with kids in the car, pardoned. Paul Manafort, money laundering for oligarchs who traffic everything, pardoned. Roger Stone, lying to protect the boss, pardoned. George Papadopoulos, Flynn, Bannon. All the way down to the January 6 rioters he's promising to spring the second he sits back down. And now, we're supposed to pretend it's just coincidence that the only people getting golden tickets from this administration are the same ones who partied with Epstein, while Trump himself bragged about grabbing whatever he wanted because he's a star. Makes you wonder who the hell he's really protecting, doesn't it? Because when every pardon smells like a pedophile's cologne, maybe it's time to stop pretending this is about law and order and start calling it what it is, a lifelong membership card for the worst monsters society ever produced. And the absolute sickest part is the brain-dead fan club that still screams fake news. Every time someone points out the obvious, grown adults with Trump flags on their trucks defending a man whose best friends raped kids, swearing on their lives he's some kind of savior, while they turn a blind eye to the mountain of victims screaming for justice. You protect what you practice, plain and simple, because nobody fights that hard to shield child predators unless there's something twisted inside them that sees itself in the mirror when those names come up. I hope to God none of these die-hard defenders have kids at home, because the thought of what might be happening behind those closed doors after they spend all day online calling Epstein victims liars makes my skin crawl worse than anything else in this whole rotten mess. There's no debate, no nuance. No, but her email's bullshit to hide behind here. Just a straight line from the pardons to the planes to the island to the man who still won't release the full files because he knows damn well what's in them. Case closed. I'm not arguing with a single one of you creeps in the comments. When child services knock on your doors, do not open. Where are they for these people? Nowhere, because they have Lucifer in them, and those who oppress are with them. If there is no laws for them and protection for their kids, there is no home invasion of anyone else. Either laws apply to all or to none. Trump's America. Demons walk free while victims eat dirt. Here we are in 2025 watching this bloated criminal parade around the White House, like he's some untouchable god, while the rest of us get crushed under tariffs that jack up grocery prices, mass deportations that rip families apart, and budget cuts that literally starve kids in school lunch lines, all because the MAGA machine needs scapegoats for the crimes their orange king and his trillionaire buddies actually committed. And the sickest joke is that Trump should be strapped to a gurney waiting for the needle after everything he's done, but instead, he's the one signing executive orders that punish millions who never broke a single law. We didn't steal elections, we didn't hoard classified docs in a bathroom, we didn't rape, we didn't traffic kids, we didn't bankrupt casinos and stiff workers, we didn't incite a mob to storm the Capitol. Yet somehow we're the ones paying the price, while the real demons sip champagne on yachts and laugh at the chaos they bought and paid for with dark money and darker secrets. How the hell does this even happen, tell me? How do the monsters who destroy lives end up worshipped like rock stars while the people they hurt are locked in mental prisons for the rest of their days, jumping at shadows, broke from therapy bills, scared to trust anyone ever again? Physically wrecked from what those animals did to them. And society just shrugs and says thoughts and prayers before turning around to cheer the predator who walks free with Secret Service protection and a lifetime pension. The trillionaires did the crimes, the Epsteins, the Trumps, the whole rotten club. They trafficked, they assaulted, they looted the country blind. And they're still out here golfing and grinning while victims can't even afford rent because trauma doesn't come with a GoFundMe that actually works. Justice in Trump's America is a punchline written by the guilty, performed for the gullible, and paid for by the innocent who never asked to be part of the show. So yeah, keep waving those red flags and screaming about law and order while your cult leader breaks every rule ever written and gets a parade for it. Because that's exactly how broken this system is. The demons are in charge, the victims are collateral damage. And the rest of us are just trying to survive the fallout from crimes we never committed. Trump's crew, predators, enablers, and the survivors he tries to silence listen up. Every single person Trump ever hired or put on payroll is either a straight-up collaborator who helped run the Epstein pipeline, or a terrified victim he manipulated into staying quiet by whispering that if he goes down the whole ship sinks, victims included. Like some twisted loyalty oath designed to keep mouths shut and trauma buried deeper than his failed casinos. But that's total horseshit, because the only one drowning in criminal sewage is the orange rapist himself, and nobody else needs to take the fall for his sick games. He actually sat them down and told them we all go down together, as if survivors owe him silence after what his buddies did, as if shame belongs to anyone but the monsters who preyed on kids while laughing about it on private jets and marble floors. Fuck that noise. Shame is for the demons who did the crimes and the trash who still clap for them today, not for the warriors who lived through hell and somehow kept breathing. To every survivor reading this, hear me loud and clear. You are not a victim. You are a goddamn legend who stared evil in the face and refused to let it win completely, and whether you scream it from rooftops or carry it quietly inside. Neither choice makes you less, because trauma isn't a competition, and healing sure as hell doesn't come with a script. The weak ones are the predators who needed power over children to feel big, and the spineless clowns who defend them now, because protecting pedophiles is apparently the new Republican family value. And yeah, when I see some red hat moron online mocking survivors or calling them liars for clout, all I can think is Child Services needs to knock on that door tonight, because anyone who laughs at raped kids is advertising exactly what they're capable of behind closed doors when nobody's watching. You lead by example, assholes, and your example screams danger. Survivors don't owe the world a performance, but the people attacking them sure as hell owe society a welfare check on every kid in their house. Period. Oh, and dearest MAGA, I was not talking to you. I just want to thank you all, like, share, and follow to stay connected. I am Santiago del Carmen Maria, the Queen of Crowning Thoughts, because I say it like it is. Copyright 2025 Independent Writer, Crowning Thoughts Truth Speaker, AI Video Content Creator Writer Blogger Santiago, DC. Maria, all rights reserved.